Mm. Hey, welcome to another episode of Conversations with Geoff. Oh, man. Well, our mission is to bring impactful information, solutions, and experience to helping you live your best life, right? Oh, man. And I believe this, that the power of the conversation you're having with yourself about yourself is a critical piece of why you are where you are today. Whether you're at the highest level in your life or you're at the bottom starting all over again, or you're in the middle, right? I believe that the conversation you're having with yourself about yourself is critical to that. We talk a lot about it in our community about the stinking thinking. Think about the worst thing you can think of that smells so bad. Oh man, makes you want to brings tears down your eyes. That's the stinking thinking I'm talking about. Because the magnitude of that, oh man, creates all kinds of roadblocks in the areas that we talk about in community and all the things that fall underneath community and family, right? And health and wealth. Everything that goes through life is tied to how we see ourselves and what we say about ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. So the conversation you're having with yourself about yourself is critical. And you already know what I like to ask next, right? For those of you that have been following us. When you got up today and you went in the bathroom and you looked in the mirror, who was that was looking back at you? And by the way, if I say something that seems a little aggressive towards you, I don't mean it. Our messaging is just meant for you to think about some things that you can take away today and apply in your life right now, during this show even, to begin to change. So please, just hang in there. Make sure you don't leave. Share this information. Understand this, man, that we all have this ability. We all have this gift. We all have this tool that I'm talking about, and we can use it to change our lives. We no longer have to be stuck. We no longer have to be trapped by our stinking thinking, man. We can do some things differently. I believe this to be true. My life shows that in my life, right? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Geoff Tyson, and I'm known as the Comeback King. I got that name, man, from people that have seen me go through the roller coaster of life as an early child and facing all types of setbacks and some setups and so lots of disappointments and, having a successful corporate career and entrepreneurship, all those things, man, but never once giving up, getting knocked down a bunch of times, right? But getting back up. Those that know me, they know I'm relentless, man. Like many of you, once I decide on something, man, I'm like a pit bull. I'm not letting it go until I get it. And that's how we want you to become. That's how we want you to believe in yourself. That's how we want you to take away this information today so you too can be the same way, man. Find out, though, what it is that you really want in life. A lot of people talk about their purpose. Man, I wish I knew what my purpose was. What if you know it? But you're just afraid to face it because you don't see yourself being able to achieve it. I'm going to say that again. What if you already know and you know her, but you don't see yourself achieving it, so you don't chase it? I mean, that's pretty common. It happens. But that conversation you're having with yourself about yourself, man, is part of that stuff I'm talking about, right? So today, I'm here by myself. And for those of you that are new to the show, we appreciate it. All we ask is that you drop some love in the chat. Let us know where you are. Make sure you set up your notification bell and share this information and keep coming back, right? We're on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we drop in throughout the week on LinkedIn, YouTube, and some other places. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching the recording. Thank you for sharing this. I'm going to thank you in advance, all right? So anyhow, today, I would like to refer to my notes so that we can get through this piece. And I'm going to continue what I started last night. Make sure you go back and check out. It was only a couple minutes last night when we started this thing off. And as I did at the beginning, we want to give you some things that you can use today. So when you look in the mirror tomorrow, when you go back and look in the mirror at lunch, you see somebody smiling back at you. You no longer see that frowning person, that person that has their brows all twisted because life is just kicking their butt. Right? You may see that person, but then there's a smile coming, and then there's the back is up and the shoulders are back and their head is looking up, right? That's what happens when you start to do the things I'm talking to you about today. So last night I talked about, so I'm going to talk about 4 things, and I'm going to give you some highlights on them. And then, if you want more information, my information is in the chat. If you want to connect that way, I encourage you to do that. right? And then participate as I go through this. Raise your hand, drop your thumbs up for making sense. Change that stinking thinking. That's right, Steph. And be here throughout this whole session, right? All right. So last night I talked about, listen, we like to go into Monday with a message around thinking about something positive, because if you go into the week positively, you're going to usually have a better outcome towards the results of getting closer to that success level, right? So we talked last night about visualization and how important that is. So go back and check that out, man. I want to tell you though, visualization, it works. It's not easy. People have tried it. People have said, man, it doesn't work. And I'm like, how often have you tried it? Well, I did it last week for one day for 5 seconds. Hey, it's not going to work. It's not going to work like that. You have to practice that. You have to be patient with that. You have to understand. It's kind of like meditation. Anybody tried to meditate when they tell you to calm your mind, and as soon as you close your eyes, you're either going to sleep, or you're worrying about what's for dinner, or you're worrying about what you didn't do right in your presentation. You know what I mean? All these things. Raise your hand, drop it in and say, if that's you. Yeah. And that's what, so we're talking about. I'm talking about having to do some work, guys. I'd like to tell you it's easy, but it's not. It does work, but it takes work. All right. So anyway, so visualization is really, I think, is a powerful tool. And before I leave that, though, I just want to say to you that don't give up if you're doing it. Don't be discouraged if you don't feel like it's working, because it does work. And I'll say this too to you, that you got to be able to see it in your mind before you can hold it in your hand. Whatever that is, you got to be able to see it here, right? Before you can hold it here. Anyway, so let me see. Let me get to my notes here. Boy. Yeah. All right. Here we go. So I'm going to continue that theme and, drop in some questions if you have them, or hit me up later on if you're catching the replay. So going on forward with that, the other thing, there's 4 of them. And one of them is the first one's going to be affirmations. We hear it all the time, positive affirmations. And a lot of people say, I don't need that crap. It doesn't work for me. I'm already motivated. I'm not talking about just being motivated. I'm talking about creating a habit. I'm talking about creating a voice inside of you that says to yourself, that combats that stinking thinking, because that stinking thinking is in there like this. It's working. It's strong, baby, right? I mean, it's been in the gym all the time. It stays there 24/7, man. But that other voice that's been neglected, that other voice that's now whispered, that other voice that's still there, it's going to need some help. And that's what the affirmation is. And that's why it's so important to create a habit around this stuff. You understand? So, affirmations, and it does a couple of things. It reinforces your confidence. And confidence is a key thing, man. It reinforces your confidence and the belief in your own abilities. Man, think about if you knew in your knower that what you believe yourself to be, you could be without any failure. How would you do? How would you chase it? Man, you'd go crazy trying to get it, right? Man, and that's what this affirmation will give you, boy. I'm telling you. And willing. So I said, reinforces your confidence, number 1. The belief in your abilities. We got to believe something. We got to have a little bit of belief. Just think if it's possible. Excuse me. It's possible that what I'm saying can be true for you. Excuse me 1 second, guys. Okay. Ooh, yeah, that's better. Okay, so it's possible to have the new abilities. And lastly in this, be willing to take risk. I can't say that enough. I'm gonna say it again. Be willing to take risk, right? And don't worry about failing. Listen, I know it's easy for me to say because that's been my practice in my life, most of it. I wrote this down. Be uncomfortable. Be willing to fail forward. And don't do this thing alone. So stay in this community. Stay in here. Reach out if you need more help. So be willing to be uncomfortable. Don't do this alone. And most importantly, be willing to fail and fail forward. And let failure be the fuel. I'm telling you guys, look, let failure be that thing that says, okay, if this is what I've got and I didn't do well, then it's something I need to do better. And this is possibly could be good for me. I use the word possibly could be good for me because it is. So affirmations, man, find and build your confidence, your abilities and capabilities to do other things in your life. I picked another one. This one's not sexy either, but it makes sense to me. And a lot of people kind of avoid it. Are you one of the avoid? Listen to what I'm about to say. Do you do the best you can to not do something because you're afraid to fail? Or have you failed in the past? So it's beat you down a little bit. So you're afraid to try something else. Or is failure just something that scares the crap out of you? But I'm going to tell you something. Learn how to fail, right? Here's what happens. Stop letting failures diminish your confidence, man. That's all that happens. So, okay. Oh, that's why I'm scared to do it, because I failed before. I mean, this is common sense stuff, guys. If I can try it again, knowing I may fail, but it's okay to fail, guess what? You're going to get a little more confident, right? And I wrote down a couple of things here. And the more you fail, the more you learn, and the more courageous you become. That's a Geoffism. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the more courageous you become. Man, come on, baby, get ready. Right? See opportunities. You'll see opportunities to grow and learn, and analyze what went wrong. Take the time to analyze what went wrong. It wasn't you. Maybe it was, but so what if it was, right? So what if it was you? You can do something different around it. Learn from your failures and know that failures is a good thing, man. I mean, I heard it mentioned the other day, and he was talking about don't run. It was a session, and he was talking about don't run from your failures, face them, and let those be the elevator to the top for you, right? You stack those on top, man. You get there quicker than you will climbing the steps or running away from your failures. So stop running. Run towards them if you're going to run, and know it's going to happen. And get busy getting back up. I could talk about this one forever, man. There's so many stories. I mean, I built my first business before I leave here, just to give you some idea, right? And we went from 0 to 7 figures in 4.5 years, I think, and getting ready to really blow it up. Right? And then the economy went away, right? But I took that as a failure for myself, man. But the guy said, Geoff, when there's no business, you can pivot all you want to, but you're going to have to understand that sometimes when you're in a hole, you got to stop digging, man. So failure can leave an impression on you, but I use that as a stepping stone to get to the next level and get into real estate and some other things. So you too can look back over your life. I'm sure you've got some things that you're like, man, I failed before and I got through it. Let's get busy doing that. All right. So number 3, man, I love this one because it's so important, and most people neglect it. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself. My wife has this saying, do something every day that scares you. Man, do something every day that scares you. So important. And what does that mean, Geoff? Well, like I've started this whole thing, right? I mean, I was scared to death to pick up my phone and do a video. And I still get a little nervous sometimes, right? If it's a subject that I'm passionate about and I'm worried that I may get off track because I have so much to say around it. Woo, man. Anyway, so it happens. Just get comfortable knowing that it's okay. If you show up, what you see is what you get from me. So if you show up being yourself, that's all you got to do. Well, Geoff, I'm an introvert. No, you're not. Think about the things that you enjoy talking about. And if there's things that you do, then that's what you talk about, right? And all of a sudden that introverted image is gone because you are comfortable. Right? Don't put yourself in a space where you're talking about things that you're uncomfortable with and you really don't want to do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay. So let me make sure I hit the highlights on this one, and know that when you get your boundaries pushed, when you get to be uncomfortable, when you face those things that you're just really scared to do, guess what it does? It builds your confidence and it expands your capabilities. That's the gifts. There's so many gifts around here. And again, it stops that stinking thinking. It gives you some fuel for that self-development voice, that voice that reminds you that you are worthy, that voice that reminds you, don't stop now, that voice that reminds you it's okay to fail. It's stronger through these exercises I'm talking to you about, right? Okay, so, and the last one I wrote down, and this one is something that I was uncomfortable with in my life at different times. And it's about celebrating wins, celebrating your achievements. You know, I mean, we grew up in a time where they said, who do you think you are? If you say something good about yourself, right? I mean, it just was a little twisted back. And it's still that way today, probably. But man, and that voice is running deep in that stinking thinking. You know, don't be so big britches with all the old sayings they had before. Hey there. And this is one of my neighbors. I love this place. Anyway, so where was I? Celebrate your achievements, guys. Be comfortable doing that. Don't be uncomfortable because you think somebody thinks you have a big head. You deserve it, right? And there's so many things that come out of small celebrations. There's so many things that, man, you're missing by not doing that. Go in the closet if you're afraid to say it out loud. But if you're afraid to say it out loud around the people that you're around, then you know you need to change the people, right? In order to elevate yourself, oftentimes we have to change the people and the places and the things that we do. That's just part of it. So I encourage you, if you're worrying about being, I think it's Deion Sanders who says, I'm not going to be offended because of the people that their minds are too small to accept who I am. That's not my problem. That's theirs. I messed it up, but you know what I mean, right? So please, please, please learn how to celebrate yourself. And I wrote down some things. No matter how small, recognizing them will elevate your confidence and motivate you to do more, right? And confidence is raise your hand if you ever felt lack of confidence in doing some things when you started. Or maybe you're still feeling that way now, or maybe it's just wearing you down so you don't try anything. Confidence is critical, right? And how do you get confidence? By practicing these things, by beginning from the very beginning I talked about, but be comfortable visualizing what you want to have. See it so clearly that there's nothing will stop you from getting it, right? I mean, I talk about a lot of time, the things that when I built my business, the first business, and it was like I had these patterns. I knew what successful business looked like in that industry. I knew what the people had done. So I repeated to myself, I will do what they have done and do it better so I too can be the best. I will do what they've done and I'll do it better so I too can be the best. Man, that's all I said when I didn't want to be on the job, when I didn't want to be the only guy out there, because, that business took some labor and stuff, right? Or when I'm putting this platform together, as recent as Conversations with Geoff, man, the confidence there. But I keep showing up because I believe, like I told you from the beginning, that this not sexy piece of conversation we're having about the chatter that goes on in our brain, that's thinking that runs the show for most people, so sneaky. So sneaky. Look in the mirror and you'll see it. It's smiling back at you. Oh man, I don't know if you hear me. That person looking back at you is either smiling because you're doing the right things, because you're facing your fears, because you're visualizing things, because you're taking challenges that no one else is doing, because you know that the power is in the comeback of life. Your purpose is hidden behind that. And you too can find out by continuing to do the things I'm talking to you about, by finding ways that you can practice these beliefs that I'm sharing with you. And most importantly, if you have to, change the circle of influence that you're around, because proximity is power, or proximity could be cancerous for you, one or the other. I hope you choose the right one. All right. So I see yourself deserving what it is you want, what you're chasing. Don't hesitate. Right. And if you're afraid, stay afraid until you're not. I'm going to say it again. If you're afraid, stay afraid by standing in the mess, by standing in the battle until you're not. Because guess what? There's another one coming. And the more you can stand and the more you can get comfortable feeling forward and the more you can talk to yourself about what it is that you want to become, what it is that you want to have in your life, what it is that you're willing to do, whatever it takes to get. Oh, man, it changes the game. It changes the game for you, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to tell you this as I wrap this thing up. Let me see if I have any other notes. Don't be discouraged. Stop looking at your life where it is right now and begin to look up. See your life through the imagination of a child and know this to be true, that you are meant for more. You are meant for greatness, and nothing should stop you from reaching your destiny. You should not be denied. Don't let Stinkin Thinkin be the one, man. So I appreciate all of you hanging out today and listening to this, and I hope that this has helped you. I know it's helped me. Reach out to me. My contact information is in there to set an appointment up to talk a little bit more. My calendar link is in there and all my other information. And do me this big favor. Begin to do something different each and every day of your life today. Start right now. Grab your phone, look in the mirror and say, I no longer will be trapped by my stinking thinking. I know that I am meant for more. My purpose is found in my mess. Let me step forward in my mess. Let me keep moving in my mess. Let me not stop until I reach what it is I'm after, what I'm supposed to do. Hey, listen, had a great time today. Appreciate everybody. We'll see you on Thursday. I may have a surprise guest about health and fitness. We're trying to work that out. Some tremendous guest. It was before. A young man is doing tremendous things. If not, we'll continue this conversation around mastering your stinking thinking, which I believe to be the gift that you all need. And the ability to change your life is in that gift. All right. No more stinking thinking. Subscribe, share, thumbs up when you can. Pass this message on. Hit that subscription message. Blah, blah. Have a great day. Remember, Geoff Tyson, appreciate you. Thanks for showing up. Have a great day.